is all about meaning, which means we need to look at all the parts of orthography in order to understand why things are spelled the way they are. Morphology, etymology, and phonology all contribute to the understanding of spelling. I used some references for today's work, including Dr. Bauer's work from the WordWork Literacy Center, Gina Cook's work from the Linguistic Educators Exchange, Fiona Hamilton and Rebecca Lovelace from the High Frequency Word Project, and the Dictionary of Word Origins by John Ado. Today we're going to look at should, would, and could. First, let's start by thinking about the sounds in the words. So if you say the first word slowly, you are going to hear sh, d. And we can mark those sounds with dots. We can also do the same for would, w, d, and could, k, d. Another option, which is helpful for us to figure out the connection between the sounds that we hear, the phonemes, and the letters in the words, the graphemes, is we can draw circles around the graphemes that are making those sounds. So we have SH making sh, OU making and the grapheme D saying d. Similarly, we can circle the grapheme phoneme connection in would and could. Should, would, and could are the only times where the grapheme OU is going to make that sound. If you hear that sound in any other word, it is not going to be made by OU together. You'll notice that that leaves the letter L lurking in each one of those words. So what exactly is the letter L doing in should, would, and could? Let's go to the etymology or the story of the word to see if it helps us figure this out. The Old English form of this word would have been pronounced something like wold. It was the past tense of will. Remember, I don't speak Old English, so I'm just doing the best I can to help you out with this. Let's look at the word should. In Old English, this would have sounded something like shay old, because the SC together made a sh sound. Notice that it's the past tense of shall. Do you see a connection yet between the Old English spelling of should and the current spelling of should? Now we're going to look at could. The Old English form of could was probably pronounced k-ooth, because that D, the line in it, is actually called an F, and it's a letter that no longer exists. We don't use that letter anymore, but in Old English they did, and it represented the TH sound. It is the past tense of the Old English version of can. Then we see the word could evolved over time. So by Middle English, they've taken out that letter, the F, and they've replaced it with a TH, still meaning the same thing, past tense of can. By the 14th century, we're starting to see more of a resemblance to our current spelling of could. Notice, though, there's no L in there yet. Should is the past tense of shall. Notice that we have an L in the word shall and an L in the word should. Would is the past tense of or connected to the word will. Notice there's an L in the word will and an L in the word would. Could is connected to the word can. Well, wait a second, there's no L in the word can. You're right. But this L was added into the spelling so that we could easily see the connection between these three words: should, would, and could. So what we have here is the L is acting as a marker. The first two in should and would is a marker to connect it to its original Old English spelling. In the bottom word could, the L is acting as a marker to connect it to the words should and would. Don't forget to be curious. What words have you noticed that make you wonder about why it is spelled the way it is?